Mabuhay Steven Raga！
对，我们今天在这边呢，就是 Steven Raga， 他现在呢在竞选就是纽约州众议院30区，他是作为第一位呢，菲律宾裔会竞选到就是纽约州众议院上面。那他现在呢在这边，他的区包括 Amherst、布塞还有 Massapequa， 一点点的 Jackson High。那今天在这边呢，我们有国会议员 Mix， 孟兆文，还有纽约州参议员林权益，那以及呢本人呢，我作为就是前市议员候选人，在这边支持他竞选这个职位。那这将是呢历史上的一个在纽约州的职位上面呢，将有第一位我们的菲律宾裔竞选到这个纽约州众议员的位置上面。那我呼吁呢大家呢在6月28号的时候都出来支持他，投给他一票。那我们将会帮他选上这个位置。
Right before we start and we heard those chants, I'm sure everyone here heard the news about what happened yesterday in Buffalo, New York. And in respect to that, we wanted to take a moment of silence for the victims, the families, and all those affected by the mass shooting yesterday. So we can take a moment of silence. I think yesterday is a reminder of what we're really here for. We're here for a greater cause, a greater purpose. We're here to really amplify the justice that's needed to be done for our fellow community members, our fellow families, our fellow neighbors. Pass it over to Congresswoman Grace Meng of New York 6. Thanks.
And thank you so much for being out here to support this historic candidacy for Steven Raga. This is the heart of our congressional district, and we are so excited to be able to potentially elect the first Filipino American to the New York State Legislature. Let's give Steven a round of applause. I'm so grateful for all my colleagues in government and community leaders for being here. They're not only here today, but they've been out in the streets, on the phones, helping to get out the vote for Steven. We are really lucky to have a candidate such as Steven to potentially represent us in the New York State Legislature. He has so much experience, whether it's on the community board, whether it's running a nonprofit, helping people in the height of COVID, to remind people to get out the vote for Steven on June 28th.
Thank you, Congressman, for those remarks. Thank you. We very much appreciate it. Kicking it off to our next speaker, we have Senator John Moo.
Thank you, brother. Raga! 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 It's a beautiful day here. We're right smack in the middle of AAPI Heritage Month. The month of May has been declared by the President of the United States for the last 30 years to be the month in which we celebrate the accomplishments, recognize the continuing struggles, and try to carve a path forward for AAPIs all across the country. And we are carving a path forward for AAPIs and the entire community today with Steven Raga running for State Assembly. As Grace already said, Steven is somebody that will hit the ground running. He's been active in the community, he's been in the nonprofit world, he's been the chief of staff to the assembly member who he's looking to replace. He's going to add to our caucus, the Asian American caucus in Albany, and he's going to be a great representative for this district, everybody in this district in Queens. So let's give it up for Steve Raga once again. And our community, Queens, and the state of New York will be that much better for it. Thank you.
And so leading up to our next speaker, thank you so much for that. I want to give it up to Pochi Rankamanis.
Today, please, I would like to appeal to your hearts, once and for all. Put Steven Raga in your ballot because that's the only way that Filipinos can be represented. We're part of the AAPI community. We are bulk of nurses that serves you in the wee hours of nights and dawn. And the first Filipino American to be elected. So remember, Raga.
And they inspire each of us through their actions, through their character, because their character is what builds a better society every day, now and in the future. And so, talking about community leaders, I want to pass it over to a leader in the Chinese American community, Andy Chen. Thank you.
Andy. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Chen, former City Council candidate here in District 25. I'm here to support Steven for very few simple reasons. I know Steven that he always on the ground, every corner of the street, helping community like Emma's and Usai, which is we being marginalized and underrepresented for far too long. And during the COVID pandemic, we all know this area was the epicenter of epicenter. Many of us losing homes, are forced to live on the street or shelters without foods and facing all this economic crisis. And just like many of the group here, that Latina, compassion,
Yes, sir.
they were here every week distributing the foods. So for Steve, someone with that we all know he's going to bring that white leadership in state assembly fighting for all of us here in District 30. So I'm here to call in all my supporters, friends, neighbors, and even young students over here from middle school, high school, college, to support Steve, to elect him in the District 30 for state assembly. Thank you.
Moving on to our next speaker, I wanted to invite someone who's worked with Steve on that district level in 8030. I wanted to invite the district leader, the female district leader of Assembly District 30, Melissa Sparks.
His community-based, his education, his experience, passion, and vision. He's the right man for the right post at the right time. I've been able to, when our assemblyman decided not to run again, the chairman and I got together and we looked around who would best represent the new redrawn. Stephen and I are both running for district leader to represent the Democratic Party here in this part of Queens. Hopefully we will be able to get your support for that. This will be a great campaign this year. After this event, we're all going to start knocking on doors to elect Steven Raga for Assembly. Thank you.
Yeah, you.
That's you.
Are you change your name?
See you big guys, believe me, it's the first time ever I'm standing behind the podium and before this folks. Let's give the big round of applause all of them. And first of all, I want to congratulate Mr. Steve. He's a community worker, the way I know. He has been working day and night to help the community. Now it's the time to serve the community. Let's make the round of applause for him again. Wish him the good luck. So let's help him out to get elected. Not to select, he already selected, that's good from the county. And no matter what, we'll shake up the Manhattan. So you all are invited. Please come. And Steve, good luck for you.
So our next speaker, I'm here and I'm very proud to invite Moin Chowdhury. He's the Queens District Leader at Large to come and say a few words.
How are you doing? Thank you. Selecting him, good candidate, Steven Raga for this district. This is a diversified district. To promise, we'll do our best to help him win the race. We'll celebrate this next month. Next month election we'll celebrate together. Thank you so much, Steven Raga, for Assembly. Thank you.
To announce our next speaker, and I think he's the reason to why we're all here today. I wanted to invite Congressman Gregory Meeks. He represents New York 5 and he's the House of the Foreign Affairs Committee.
He's the chairman of the House of Representatives. Isn't he dynamic?
Yeah.
And unanimously saying that the right person, as Melissa said, at the right time to be elected to the New York State Assembly is Steven Raga.
Yeah.
He knows how to get things done. He's not running just for a title. He's not running just to be happy to get there. He's running to be like John Luke when he gets there, to deliver to the people. And that's what he's doing. So it's just my honor as the chair of the Queens Democratic Party to make sure that we're bringing to the family a diverse number of district leaders and then sending to Albany our very best and the very best to represent this community. None other than Steven Raga. Steven Raga.
Mabuhay! Steven Raga!
For the children. She's mentioned how Steve has provided to their organization numerous times, and she wanted to say a few words.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for all the support. Financial Latina and from the beginning, from the COVID. So thank you so much for all this.
To everyone, he's inspired so many individuals like myself to work in this field, to provide the day in and day out work, and I'm very glad and very humbled and honored to distinctly pleasure Steven Brian Raga, your next assemblyman of this district.
Thanks everybody, good morning. How are you? How are you? I want to say thank you to Congress members Gregory Meeks, Congress member, of course, Grace Meng, John Liu over here, all our district leaders, Melissa, thank you for speaking up, and all our community leaders all across Elmhurst, Woodside, Jackson High. Especially special shout out to Andy Chen. I know he's around over here. Right there. Sorry. Because you're everywhere. Today is a special day, especially right as it was said in the middle of Asian American Heritage Month. That we are here to declare, I think it's about time. We have a leader that is, I would assume also, I agree, kind of ready to step in on day one, having experience in the nonprofit world, working here for our community and the government and working for our community, on the volunteer advocacy and working for our community to continue that in the government role. I'll be happy to do that in Albany on day one. Thank you.
All right, Steve.
Now, we're gonna keep on knocking doors, making the phone calls. So please come join, help us volunteer, help us fundraise, help us get the word out there. Because I'm on the ballot, but so is our district leaders. So is everybody else. That we got to make sure that we're starting this movement and then stronger next year than this year. So again, yes, we're running, and we all are running to be like John in multiple ways than one. But again, let's do it. Happy to serve and happy to keep this rolling. We just want to say this is where we are. We're only getting stronger every day. We're only broadening our volunteer network every day. So thank you, and especially for Congressman Meeks, who's the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. He can literally be anywhere in the world, but he's here with us today. We appreciate that. So again, thank you. Let's keep it going. Happy to see everybody here today, and let's go win this on June 28th. Thank you very much.
Raga, 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 Raga. Trying moment in time in New York and in history. So let's write history and let's uplift him to office, okay? Let's go.